So during the active copulation process, during the active copulation process, the male copulatory organ will perform insemination. That means releasing of the sperms. Almost all during the one insemination, 200 millions of approximately 200 millions of sperms are released. So the sperms will enter vaginal canal first, then from there it travels to cervical canal, and from there it reaches uterus, and then isthmus finally reaches ampulla. And this ampulla is the region where the fertilization takes place. Okay, but the thing is, in ovary, the secondary oocyte and secondary oocyte, infundibulum, and it reaches ampulla. So where the fertilization will take place. But the thing is, all populations will not reach fertilization, will not leads to fertilization. Why? Because the transportation of secondary oocyte and sperms should be simultaneously happened. Okay, the transportation of the sperms as well as secondary oocyte should be simultaneous, coincide at the same time. They should transport. Otherwise, the fertilization will not take place. Okay, so if simultaneously it is going to happen, which leads to fertilization in this fertilization. It is a site of fertilization. The ampulla is nothing but site of fertilization. Site of fertilization. Okay. So once again, I am telling, during copulation process, the insemination is performed by male copulatory organs. Sperms are released into vaginal canal, and it transported through cervical, uterus, isthmus, and finally reaches ampulla. At the same time, the ovary releases secondary oocyte, and it collected by infundibulum. Then it enters into ampulla. So there, the fertilization takes place. Okay, and after that, the fertilization, there are certain conditions, there are certain events which happens. The sperm reacts with zona pellucida of the ovum. Okay, the sperm reacts with the zona pellucida of the ovum. Okay, and induces certain changes. So changes will be induced. Okay. Certain changes are getting induced, and thereby that membrane blocks the entry of other sperms. Okay. So thereby it is preventing polyspermy. Preventing polyspermy. So what is meant by polyspermy? The fusion of or fertilization of an ovum or secondary oocyte by many sperms. That is called polyspermy. The polyspermy is going to be prevented by certain changes which happens when the sperm interacted with the zona pellucida. When the sperm interacted with the zona pellucida, there are certain changes are going to be induced. Those changes will make that membrane to block the further entry of sperms. So it is going to prevent the polyspermy. Okay. So this is what the favorable event for the fertilization of a single sperm to a secondary oocyte. Okay. Further, the acrosome of the sperm. The acrosome of the sperm releases some secretions. The acrosome of the sperm releases some certain secretions, and these secretions will help the sperms helps the sperm to enter ooplasm, like the cytoplasm. Okay. After the sperm entry into that cytoplasm, then the secondary oocyte completes meiosis two. Okay. If there is no space, I am erasing this. Sperm enters secondary oocyte, then the secondary oocyte completes meiosis two, and then it becomes oocyte, then it develops into ovum. Okay, and then gets the male nucleus and female nucleus is going to be fused. Fusion of male nucleus plus female nucleus. I'm just giving the equations to remember the entire steps. Okay, sperm enters into secondary oocyte. The secondary oocyte, okay, now is going to exhibit meiosis two. Meiosis two continued as okay, leads to the production of oocyte, then ovum, and then gets fertilized by the male nucleus. So fusion of male nucleus plus fusion of to the female nucleus leads to the formation of zygote. Leads to the formation of zygote. Okay, so this is what going to happen. Okay, so up to here, this process is called fertilization. Okay, so further changes we are going to study now. Okay, after zygote formation, what will happen? Zygote undergoes cleavage. Okay, the zygote exhibits cleavage. Zygote exhibits cleavage. So what is meant by cleavage? Mitotic divisions. Mitotic divisions. The zygote exhibits cleavage, which is nothing but a mitotic divisions, which leads to the production of see, it is one zygote, one cell, okay, two cells, and four cells, and 8 cells, and 16 cells. So like that, the multiplication is going to happen. Multiplication, multiply. Multiplication is going to happen. So one cell become two cells and 4, 18, 8 and 16 cells. So finally 16 cells. This uh, this division is going to happen while being transported to uterus. Okay. While the zygote from ampulla, isthmus, uterus. Okay. So here the zygote produced, and while it is transporting to uterus through isthmus, it exhibits, while being transported to uterus, it exhibits cleavage process. Okay. While the zygote is transferring from ampulla to uterus, this, while being transported to uterus, the cleavage is going to happen. The cleavage is nothing but mitotic divisions. In this mitotic divisions, one cell is going to produce two cells and become 4 and then become 8 and then become 16 cells. So this is nothing but embryo, and this embryo with 8 to 16 cells is nothing but blastocyst. The embryo with 8 to 16 cells is called blastocyst, and the cells are called blastomeres. Okay, and this blastocyst finally reaches uterus and gets attaches to endometrium. Okay. Once again, I'm telling the zygote is produced in ampulla, and while being transported to the uterus through isthmus, it is exhibiting cleavage. Cleavage is nothing but mitotic divisions. In this mitotic divisions, during this mitotic division, what happens? Multiplication of the cell zygote. Zygote, one cell produces two cells, and further four, a multiplication is going to happen. Okay, number will multiply, and then the embryo will be produced. The embryo with 8 to 16 cells is called blastocyst, and the cells are called blastomeres. Okay, and finally the blastocyst attaches to endometrium in uterus. Okay, in uterus, and this process is called implantation. Implantation will be, see, when the blastocyst is attaching to endometrium, the implantation is not said to be completed. What happens is the cells of the endometrium will rupture. Suppose it is endometrium, this is blastocyst. The cells of the endometrium will rupture and they completely covers the blastocyst. They completely cover the blastocyst. Now, this is said to be a plantation, just like a seed planted into soil. So, this blastocyst is implanted into the uterus. So, this is called implantation. Okay. Once again, I am telling the zygote undergoes cleavage, okay, while during transporting to the uterus, and after reaching to uterus, okay, the blastocyst with the blastomeres called cells attaches to endometrium. After that, the cells of the endometrium ruptures and covers this blastocyst, and it leads to the process called completion of implantation process. Okay. So after implantation, what happens? Now I'm going to tell you. After implantation, inside the blastocyst, okay, I'm writing the stages here. First zygote, then morula, then blastula, then implantation, okay, then gastrula stage. Okay, these are the stages of development. Zygote, morula. So what is this morula means? 8 to 16 cells. Okay, 8 to 16 cells is the stage is nothing but morula. Why? Because the blastomeres. Okay, and further it develops into blastocyst. That name is nothing but a blastula stage. The stage is nothing but blastula stage. And after blastula stage, what happens? Implantation is going to happen. After implantation, gastrula stage. So further development. Okay, further development. So gastrula means the trophoblast covers inner cell mass. All these cells finally developed into inner cell mass, and this inner cell mass is divided into three layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Okay, these are the three layers of the embryo finally, and this stage is nothing but gastrula stage. Okay, trophoblast will covers the inner cell mass. Okay, suppose take this blastocyst, inner cell mass, and this is trophoblast. Trophoblast, and this is nothing but inner cell mass. In inner cell mass will be finally divided into ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. Okay, three layers of the embryo. That's why this is called triploblastic. Okay, this embryo is nothing but triploblastic embryo. Triploblastic embryo. Okay, so these are the stages: zygote, morula, blastula, implantation, gastrula. Okay. So after this development, after the development of gastrula stage, okay, the gestation is going to start. Okay. Before gestation, placenta is going to form first. Okay, then only gestation is going to happen. Okay. Suppose it is a trophoblast, and this trophoblast is going to give rise to finger-like projections, finger-like projections, finger-like projections, and these finger-like projections are called chorionic villi, chorionic villi, and this chorionic villi will be interdigitate with interdigitate with the uterus, okay, uterine tissue, uterine tissue, uterine tissue, and forms a structural and functional unit called placenta. Placenta is going to be formed. Okay. See here already triploblastic embryo. Okay. Ectoderm, mesoderm, and finally endoderm. The around this trophoblast, the trophoblast is going to possess or gives rise to some finger-like projections. These finger-like projections are called chorionic villi, and this chorionic villi will interdigitate. What is meant by interdigitate? Union. Okay, digits, interdigitation. Okay, the union. The chorionic villi will be interdigitating with this uterine tissue, and it leads to the formation of placenta. Okay. So what are the functions of this placenta? Now we are going to study. Analyzing this, the trophoblast gives rise to finger-like projections. They are called chorionic villi. The chorionic villi interdigitate with uterine tissue, leads to the formation of placenta. And the placenta functions. The placenta functions. It is supplying oxygen, and also receives carbon dioxide and nutrient supply, nourishment, supply of nourishment. Okay. Apart from this, apart from CO2, excretory waste is also being collected by placenta from the developing embryo. Okay, so these all are different functions of the placenta, and placenta also acts as a gland. Also, a gland. It also acts like a gland. So, what are the hormones secreted by placenta generally? The hormones secreted by placenta: estrogen, progestogens, HPL, and HCG. Okay, human placental lactogen. Okay, human placental lactogen. P for placental, L for lactogen, and H for human, C for chorionic, G for gonadotropin, Okay, and one more hormone, that is relaxin. So these are the hormones secreted by placenta. Okay. Now these are the functions of the placenta, and these are the hormones of the placenta. Okay. So after that, so gestational period, what are the changes that happens? We are going to study now. Okay. See, one more thing. During this pregnancy, the levels of estrogen and progestogens also will rise up in the mother's blood, the maternal blood. During pregnancy, one more time, I'm telling you, during pregnancy, there was a small technical problem. Sorry for that. Network issue. Okay. So, once again, I'm telling that point. During pregnancy, the levels of estrogen and progesterone in the mother's blood will rises up. Okay, and all these hormones, and also placenta helps in the development of the all organs and tissues, the vegetative somatic development of the embryo. Okay, and coming to the germ layers, like what I told, ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. Okay, these three layers of the embryo will involves in the development of many organs, organ systems, okay, and internal organs also. Okay, that is the importance of embryonic layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. Those are called germinal layers, germinal layers. Okay. Now we are going to study gestational changes in the embryonic development during pregnancy. Gestational period changes. And this placenta is connected to the embryo through an umbilical cord. It's a physical connection between mother to fetus. Okay, umbilical cord, which connects placenta to fetus. Placenta to fetus, umbilical cord. Okay, up to 3 months embryo. Right from the third month, it is called fetus. Okay. Yeah, please tell me. Any doubt? I unmuted. I unmuted. Please tell me 153 4444. Any doubt? Okay. So now I'm going to continue the topic. Yeah, please ask me your doubt. I unmuted now. 141452180.
Sir, what is allantois layer, sir?
Huh?
Allantois layer.
Yeah, the tissues which present around the embryo, fetus, development of fetus.
Sir, is its function same as the amniotic fluid and all
Yes,
like?
yes, yes. Okay. Amnion, chorion are the two tissues. Okay. Amniotic fluid, chorionic. Got it. Those are two. Protection and nourishment, both functions are.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now the changes that happens during embryonic development we are going to study. Okay. So after 1 month, and end of 2 months, end of 2 months, and first trimester, first trimester. That means tri means three. Okay, trimester 3 months. 3 into 4, 12 weeks. Okay, 12 weeks. Okay. And at the end of fifth month, at the end of fifth month. Okay, and after that, at the end of 24 weeks, end of 24 weeks. Okay, and after that, at the end of 9 months, is getting ready for delivery at the end of 9 months. 24 weeks means 4, 6 to 24. That means 6 months at the end of 6 months. Okay, now we are going to study the changes. These are the important changes which happens during the embryonic growth. So first, after 1 month, the heart is formed, or after 1 month, and at the end of 2 months, at the end of second month, limbs and digits are formed. Limbs and digits are formed. So what is meant by limbs? The hands or legs. Digits means fingers. Hands, legs, and their fingers all are developed at the end of the second month. At the end of third month, what happens? At the end of third month, first trimester, the major organ systems are going to develop. Major organs or organ systems developed, including genital organs also, external genitalia also included in that. Okay. At the end of first month, at the end of fifth month, the first movement of the baby, the first movement of the baby is going to be seen. Okay. And also the appearance of hair on the head. Okay. Hair on head. Okay. And at the end of 24 weeks, entire body is covered with hair and eyelids, eyelashes, complete development. Okay, full body covered with hair at the end of 24 months. Full body hairy and eyelids, eyelashes all develops. Okay, and also uh, the internal development of organ systems will be matured. That means development is going to be continued. And finally, at the end of ninth month, the baby is ready for delivery. So once again, I'm telling, at the end of 1 month, heart is formed. At the end of 2 months, the limbs, digits are formed. And at the end of first trimester, that means 12 weeks, major organs and organ systems are going to develop. And at the end of fifth month, the first movement of the baby and also hair on the head. And at the end of 24 weeks, that is 6 months, full body is covered with hair and eyelids separate and eyelashes develops. Okay, these are going to happen. And at the end of ninth month, the baby is ready for delivery. So these are the prime important changes that happens during the embryonic development. Okay. After that, parturition process. Next, after gestation, next parturition. So this parturition is neuroendocrine mechanism. Why? Because this mechanism is involving nervous system and also endocrine system. This mechanism is involving nervous system and endocrine system both. Okay. And it is also positive feedback mechanism. Positive feedback mechanism. This mechanism is also called positive feedback. Why? Because whenever our body is going to have some reflex, okay, our reactions to that particular stimulus is going to be increased rather than decreasing. Okay, suppose a stimulus. Okay, I will tell you more easy example. Suppose it's a hot iron object. Okay, if I am going to touch this, definitely I am going to remove my hair from the surface of iron. Okay, hot iron component. But instead of removing the hand, that is negative. This is negative feedback. Okay. But still, if I am going to keep my hand there itself, that comes under positive feedback mechanism. Any stimulus which is going to develop or produce in the body, okay, will be further stimulated or promoted more and more times. That is nothing but positive feedback mechanism, so as to produce a particular required response. That is nothing but positive feedback mechanism. The same thing is going to happen in this parturition. Okay, that's why parturition is an example of positive feedback mechanism. A stimulus generally, instead of reducing the stimulus, the body is going to promote and stimulate more and more stimulus. That is nothing but positive feedback mechanism. And since nervous system and endocrine system both are involved in this mechanism, this is called neuroendocrine mechanism. Okay. So here the process will follow like this: fully developed fetus and placenta. Fully developed fetus and placenta produces stimulus. produces stimulus. Okay, this is nothing but which leads to reflex. Okay, reflex. Okay, so what kind of reflex? Uterine muscle, uterine muscle contraction, uterine muscle contraction. This is a reflex. Okay, the fully developed fetus and placenta, when the fetus is fully developed and the placenta and fully developed fetus together produces a stimulus. Due to this, the uterine muscle is going to contract. That is nothing but a reflex. Okay, a reflex is going to happen, and further it leads to the information which reaches to CNS. Okay, CNS means again brain, right? And brain will activate hypothalamus, hypothalamus, and hypothalamus secretes oxytocin. Okay. Oxytocin secreted by hypothalamus, or oxytocin is secreted by hypothalamus, and this oxytocin is finally reaches uterine muscle, uterine muscle. Okay. So now what happens? Already the uterine muscle is undergoing contractions, and these contractions further increases. Contractions further increases. So this is nothing but positive feedback mechanism. And these rigorous contractions, okay, rigorous contractions leads to the detachment of fetus from uterus. Okay, detachment of the fetus, detachment of the fetus. Okay, and thereby it will enters into birth canal. The fetus will enters into birth canal. So what is a birth canal generally? A vaginal canal and cervical canal used to form birth canal, okay, and comes out by the process called parturition. So baby is delivered. So once again I'm telling, this is a positive feedback mechanism. Fully developed fetus and placenta produces a stimulus. Due to this, a reflex is going to develop. Okay, that is uterine muscle contraction, and which leads to the information passing to brain, and brain activates hypothalamus, and hypothalamus secretes oxytocin, and oxytocin acts on uterine muscle, and uterine muscle contractions will be rigorous. Okay, showing rigorous contractions, and thereby the detachment of uterus, detachment of fetus from the uterus is going to happen. That fetus enters into birth canal and thereby comes out by the process called maturation. So this is very simple process and easy process. Okay. So finally, the fully developed baby fetus has comes out. That process is called maturation. After parturition, what happens? The umbilical cord is going to be cut by the doctor. He will cut the umbilical cord, and also the amniotic fluid. Okay, this amniotic fluid and placenta will be expelled out. After parturition process. The amniotic fluid and also placenta will be expelled out from the mother. Expelled out from the mother. That is called after birth. After birth. After birth is nothing but the process of expelling out of amniotic fluid and placenta. That is after birth. Okay. And after cutting of umbilical cord, the baby and the mother is getting separated because the baby now can able to sustain herself. Okay. Itself, it can grow because heart, everything, all organ systems are functioning, and the baby can respire. Every organ system is going to be functional. So no need of mother. So umbilical cord is separated. Okay, mother and baby is separated, and after that, in the mother's body, the oxytocin also helps in the stimulation of the pituitary gland, and that pituitary gland secretes a hormone called prolactin hormone. Prolactin hormone. This prolactin hormone will finally act on the mammary alveolar cells, so that the mammary alveolar cells secrete milk. Okay, that secretion of milk is called lactation process. Okay, the lactation will take place after the parturition process. Okay, before parturition, the lactation will not take place. Why? Because The oxytocin will have to activate the pituitary gland, then it will secrete the prolactin hormone, then the prolactin hormone is going to act on the mammary gland. Okay, mammary alveolar cells then secretes the milk. Okay, that will be stored in the spaces present between the alveoli cells. Okay, that is lactation process. And the milk which is being secreted by the mother during the initial days is nothing but yellowish in color, slightly yellowish in color, and it is rich in antibodies. Okay, uh, and antibodies means immunoglobulins. So, ready-made immunity. Okay, the antibodies provides lot of immunity to the baby. Okay, the feeding of mother's milk only is suggestible up to 6 months. Okay, so this is very healthy. So this is all about the topics of the third chapter till now. Okay. So first, fertilization. The male copulatory organ releases sperms by the process called insemination, and the sperms enters into vaginal canal. From there, cervical canal, then uterus, then isthmus, then ampulla. Okay. At the same time, from the ovary, the secondary oocyte and infundibulum, then ampulla. At the same time, the ovum, the secondary oocyte, and the sperm has to transport to the ampulla. Okay, according to old textbook, the fertilization takes place at ampullary isthmus junction, but according to new textbook, ampulla is the location, only ampullary location. Okay, the fertilization takes place at ampulla. Next, after the entry of sperm onto the secondary oocyte, first of all, the zona pellucida, and then vitelline membrane, then plasma membrane, then it enters inside due to the acrosomal reaction. After the entry, the secondary oocyte will complete its meiosis too and becomes oocyte and then ovum. And male gamete, male nucleus and female nucleus will be fused to form zygote. And then the zygote from ampulla then moves to isthmus, then uterus. While the zygote moving to isthmus and then uterus, while moving towards uterus, it is exhibiting cleavage process. The zygote, after production of its zygote, the zygote will move towards uterus. While it is moving towards uterus, it is going to exhibit a cleavage process. Okay, so the cleavage, uh, the sequence of zygotic development, I'll tell you: zygote, morula, blastula, gastrula. Okay, zygote, morula, blastula, implantation, gastrula, I'm telling you. Okay, why? Because zygote first undergoes mitotic divisions and produces 8 to 16 cells. They are called blastomeres, and the stage is called morula. And further, it develops into blastocyst, which consisting of trophoblast and inner cell mass. Okay, and further, the trophoblast and inner cell mass, this is called blastocyst, and it going to uterus and attaches to the endometrium. Then the cells of endometrium will rupture and covers this blastocyst, and this process is called implantation. After implantation process, the inner cell mass will be further developed into embryonic layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm, three layers of the embryo. That's why our development is called diploblastic development. And after implantation process, after implantation only, the gastrula stage is going to happen. The three layers of embryo is going to develop. Further, gestation process. Gestation, we already studying now. Okay. Uh, the placenta will develop due to the interdigitation of the chorionic villi, which are developed from the trophoblast, which interdigitate with uterine tissue and forms into a placenta. The placenta will act as a endocrine gland as well as the nourishment supply. That means nutrient supply and also oxygen supply, collection of carbon dioxide and wastes, excretory wastes. These all functions apart from acting as an endocrine gland. But as an endocrine gland, what they are secreting, what the placenta is secreting: estrogen, progesterone, HCG, HPL, relaxin. All these are the hormones the placenta is going to secrete. Okay, and it helps in the development of the fetus. Up to 3 months, that is called embryo. Okay, but after right from the third month, it is called blastocyst. It is called fetus. Okay. Further, gestation changes. First month, heart is formed. Second month, limbs and digits are formed. At the end of trimester, Okay, all internal organs and organ systems are going to develop, and further body is covered with fine hair and eyelashes, eyelids. Okay, all complete development. First movement of the body at the end of 5th month. Okay, and at the end of 9th month, it is ready to delivery. And whenever it is ready to delivery, the fully developed fetus and placenta releases stimulus. As a stimulus, it results in a reflex. What is the reflex? Uterine muscle contractions, and it further sends information to brain. Then activates hypothalamus. Hypothalamus secretes oxytocin. Oxytocin acts on uterine muscle. Uterine muscle further leads to rigorous contractions, and it leads to the detachment of fetus from uterus and enters into birth canal and thereby maturation process. So the long sequence of events we should remember like a story. So that's why today, or with the help of equations only, I explain. I written on the board most of the time. I have written equations on the board. I think you might have followed. Okay, rather than oral explanation, writing the equations on the board will make you to more understand the process. Okay. After maturation, lactation, as I told, oxytocin will promote, okay, the stimulation of a pituitary gland. Further, prolactin is secreted. That prolactin will act on the mammary alveolar cell secretes milk. The milk produced in the initial days is nothing but colostrum. The colostrum is having a lot of antibodies and provides a lot of immunity to the newborn baby infant. Okay, so this is all about the next other topics. So I request everyone, take your NCRT textbook and take your pencil or pen, underline each and every word that you feel difficult and study line to line for neat examination. Okay, textbook textbook is the only weapon that we should use in this time. Okay, it's my sincere suggestion to all of you. Textbook, only NCERT textbook you use. And if you want a new version, you can download it on the internet. The new textbook will have a minor changes, not major changes. Very simple changes. Updation is there. Okay, you can follow that. Okay, please line to line you have to study from textbook. Now you need not to take any kind of risk. Risky jobs, please don't do any risky jobs. Okay, only textbook NCRT line to line you study. It will help you for both KCD and NEET examination. Okay, KCD examination 45 MCQs will come from second PUC textbook only, and NEET examination 50-50 percentage weightage. We all know that. Okay, so all these things you keep in your mind. And third chapter is very very important. 4 to 5 MCQs you will get from this third chapter only, and the two NCRT lines. They will pick the question. They will pick the point, any particular point from textbook NCRT lines. They will frame the question. Okay, they will not collect Truman book, MTG, Arihant, Dinesh, all books they will not refer. Only NCRT textbook, only NCRT textbook they will take, and line to line they will start making questions by line to line in the NCRT textbook only. Okay, so please take NCRT textbook and study. It's my simple suggestion. Okay, today I would like to end the session. If anybody have a doubts, you can clarify. You can ask. You can raise your hand. And I request everyone, please put your admission numbers as your profile names. Otherwise, you will be removed. Today, already 3 members have been removed by me. Okay, I should not do this. And even some people have entered the class during the middle of. Okay, during the middle. This is not good. Okay, joining in a halfway to the class, that is not good, and leaving before all. So this is not a good habit. It doesn't show your sincerity and efforts. Okay, as you do more and more efforts, it will help you a lot in KCT and NEET examination. And I'm telling to everyone. Okay, because here important students are there, post park are there. Okay, smart students, everyone are there. Everyone is equal. Okay, so you have to, you are going to get only one paper in JCIT and one paper only for NEET examination. So they will not give paper according to FRD students or according to post or smart students. Okay, they will not classify. For all the students, they will give same question paper only. Okay. So finally, what I would like to say is, please open your NCERT textbook and study seriously. Line to line, you have to study. Nobody can help you out if you do not do that. Okay. Please don't depend on other extra sources, and this is not the right time. And moreover, it is in lockdown. We all are in lockdown, so please be safe and don't take much tension. Read only textbook. Okay, don't get tensed much. Textbook lines, NCERT lines only you study. Okay. Hopefully, we expect easy paper this time because of the circumstances. We expect easy paper in the Neet or ACT also. Okay, easy paper we will expect. I'm expecting, I'm guessing easy it will be this time. Okay, than last year. Okay. So, any doubts, please raise your hand so that I will help you in clarifying any topic if not understood, so that I can explain again. I can explain any topic again. M30s. So this is what I told already. Please change your profile name first, then I will clarify your doubt. Please keep your admission number as profile name, then you raise your hand. You put your profile name as M30 and raising hand. This is not correct. I already told. 2 times I told. Please keep your admission number as your profile name. If anybody have doubt, please raise your hand. I'm ending the session. Okay, don't take much tension. This is not the time to get tensed. Okay, this is the time to be relaxed and focused. Okay, please don't unnecessarily get bothered about extra information. Okay, extra information may helps, but it may not help in the competitive exam like KCT and NEET examination. Okay, it helps only for your knowledge. Okay, it may not help in competitive examination. Yeah, 1534444. Yeah, 1534444.
Sir,
Yeah, please.
yes, me, sir. So, what type tissue layers which are found in a blastula, sir?
See, the trophoblast. Okay, blastula stage means blastocyst. Okay, blastula stage is containing blastocyst. Blastocyst is consisting of trophoblast, and in the trophoblast, inner cell mass is present. Okay, clear? Next. Any other? Okay, I'm ending the session. Thank you very much for attending. Please show all your interest and focus on your textbooks. Okay, thank you very much. See you tomorrow with another topic. Have a nice day.